Welcome to Hope at Night, featuring Mark Anthony, Q&A with our live audience, and host Anil Kanda. Today's episode, Can Food Choices Set You Free? And here's your host, Anil Kanda.
Have you ever made food that doesn't look or taste as good as the love and effort you've put in it? Last year, I decided to make some delicious garlic naan bread. And let me tell you, it really wasn't that good. So I decided to feed my dog Hero that bread, and he wouldn't even touch it. He just kind of sniffed it and looked back at me with those big sad eyes as if saying, "What did I do to deserve that?" But thankfully today, I'm not cooking for any of us. Amen? We're in luck, and especially those of us in the studio, we have a former Las Vegas celebrity chef joining us. He's cooked for the likes of Jack Nicklaus, Montel Williams, Joan Jett, Styx, REO Speedwagon, and Journey. At 24, he was both the youngest executive chef of the casino he owned and probably also the youngest casino owner. But these days, he's found something to do that he feels is even more fun and much more rewarding. Please welcome to Hope at Night, Chef Mark Anthony.
Good to be here.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Very good. Chef, I'm excited to talk about gambling.
Okay. Well, just give me some money. I'll take it. I'll be glad to take it from you.
Now, let's talk about this. You used to run a casino. How in the world did you get into the casino business?
Well, you know, back in Lost Wages, Nevada, that's what we call it, Lost Wages, because everybody loses their paycheck over there. And I actually started out, catering. I was the executive chef at the Sands and one of the youngest executive chefs there. And I was offered to do some catering for people. And so I had a few friends in the casino business, and one of them came up to me and they said, "Hey, there's a strip club over here that has a vacant kitchen you can use." So I actually started out cooking in a strip club. They were closed in the daytime when I was renting out the kitchen, and I started doing catering jobs and then started doing delivery to businesses all over the city and just grew from there. And I grew till I had enough funds and resources and business to open up a casino. Yeah.
What was it like to be a casino owner, especially being so young at the time?
Yeah, it's surreal in a certain way. The Las Vegas highlight, sometimes we were pulling $20,000 out of a slot machine per week.
That's incredible.
I mean, they make a lot of money. And my casino was actually the hangout for all the FBI agents, CIA workers, police officers. That was their hangout.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't even carry donuts, but that was their place. And if you got the built-in security the way I had, the women from the nightclubs felt safe, and if the women are safe, the men are there because the women are there. And it was like that perfect mix for Sin City. And I had a full crew, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and mostly focused on the catering. That's where my heart and passion always was the cooking part. And that's where I was cooking for all these celebrities and doing big events and a lot of concerts, outdoor concerts, and that's how I got started.
Now, it looks like your life is just skyrocketing, especially at such a young age. But why did things change? Well,
when you're in that business, I grew up Catholic. Just to let you know, I grew up in a Catholic home. I was an altar boy in church, until I got taller than the priest. And then they had to, put somebody else in there. But so I had a little foundation going with me, but kind of left the church the day I left home to go to college, that type of thing. And so here I am in Las Vegas, and I really started seeing all the devastation that was coming along with the casino business. I mean, I could buy anything I wanted to buy, go anywhere I wanted to go, do anything I wanted to do, but I just didn't feel like that was where God wanted me to be. And you start seeing, the horrible things. I mean, moms come in with their half-naked kids, looking for their boyfriends or husbands who were blowing the paychecks in the slot machines. And my whole crew was even trained how to deal with this because it happened so much. And women too, they'd come in there blowing their paychecks before they even go home and feed the family.
Behind the glitz and glamour, you were seeing the reality of brokenness there.
Yeah, we had, so many things. There was a senior couple. They used to come in and sign markers. It's like an IOU, $100, $500 here, $800 there. By the end of the day, they probably have lost a couple $1,000s. And the next day, the banks would open. They'd pay me, start gambling again. And they did this in quite a few properties for quite a few seasons and ended up losing everything they had. They left town in a beat-up pickup truck with a camper topper on the back and a mattress back there to sleep on. And casino owners, other ones were calling me up. Where are they? They owe us money. And I was like, yeah, they owe me money too, but I didn't care about the money. It wasn't that big of an issue.
It sounds like you just witnessed how lives turned upside down in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What was the turning point that finally changed everything?
I was back there when the credit card machines were invented, okay? This is a long time ago. And so we had credit card machines in the casino, and my bartenders had credit card swipers, and a lot of people are swiping credit cards for cash. And I've swiped credit cards for people to get cash, and I really didn't think about it that much. And then one day, I was back behind the bar doing a liquor count. I was in the liquor room, and I could hear my bartender with this lady. And she was saying, here, see if you can get $10 off this credit card. And it was like, nope, it won't work. Well, try it for $5. Literally trying every credit card in her purse, trying to get $5 to play a slot machine. Isn't that horrible? But that was nothing compared to finding her with a bullet in her head, committing suicide and orphaning 3 kids.
That's terrible.
And and I just prayed and prayed, and I said, Lord, I know you got something better for me.
So you were reaching out, even praying to God, crying out in some way for God to help and change things for you. Yeah. Did you feel stuck?
Little helpless and hopeless. But the Lord just kind of told me, he says, get out of this business and I'll show you something better. And I got out of that business and I've never been back since.
Now, did this just happen overnight or was this a gradual change?
Well, I got out of that business and I started, reading the Bible and praying and started going to different churches in Las Vegas. They've got more churches per capita in Vegas than any other city in the country. And whatever sins you want, Vegas has a church for you. Oh yeah, dancing girls, whatever you want. They've got it. Witchcraft, anything you want, they got a church for it.
Wow.
And some of them used to come in my casino. We used to have witchcraft people come in there at night and just gamble. There's pastors that have churches inside the casinos. And
so the church was inside the casino?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not the actual churches you get married at. I'm talking, they actually rent property, that's their church. And I know pastors that meet with the congregation, have cocktails before service. And this one pastor, I talked to him a couple times, and he actually gives classes on how to play slot machines after service. And I'm just shaking my head.
Is there a particular prayer he's teaching before they,
Yeah, well, the Bible, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just.
Gotcha.
Right, so if you're not winning on those slot machines, you're not right with God.
Right.
That's the way he approaches it. And finally, I said, I got to quit going to these churches altogether.
Right.
But I stayed in study and I stayed in prayer and started watching, televangelists on television and, so God was just filling me up all the way along the way.
Yeah, it sounds like he was taking you out of this experience, giving you a whole new experience.
Yeah.
What else began to change about you?
Well, what happened was I'm watching television, and one of the local churches that I had started attending actually took over a network. And so they were putting up television programs, I think from Hope Channel and 3ABN and Loma Linda, all these different places. They were doing some of their own content, on there. And I started watching them. And the more I'm watching them, I'm like, wow, they're teaching the whole message. They're not picking and choosing. They're not sugarcoating things. They don't care if you don't like it. This is the truth, and it was really refreshing to find a church that actually had the whole message. I'd given up on churches, and then I found that church, and it was so refreshing to find something that had truth. And I knew about the Sabbath being on Saturday because my brother was married to a Jewish girl. I always wondered why people didn't honor the Sabbath. And the more I studied into it, the more convicted I became, and God just put me on fire. I mean, he really put me on fire.
Now, it's not just your spirituality changed too, but even your weight changed during this process. Could you explain that?
Well, I started coming across the health message,
And what do we mean by health
look
message?
At that picture. They putting that picture up there. Yeah. I've lost about 70, 75 pounds now, and just by eating healthier.
How much did you weigh in that picture?
My highest weight was about 315, 320, right in that range. Okay. And I'm about 240, 245 right now. Okay. So, and I still got about 20 more to go.
Hey, we're about the same weight. I checked the scale this morning. It may not look like it, but it is.
Yeah, it takes time sometimes, but as long as you keep taking steps,
that's right.
You get there.
It's a journey, right?
It is.
Progress over perfection, right? So as you begin to learn about the Bible more and you begin to hear these truths in Scripture, and as you begin to change, not just internally, but outward, what did you decide to do with your life at this point? I mean, you left the casino business, you got away from that crowd, you got spirituality in your life?
Yeah, I was executive chef for a major hospital chain as an executive chef at that time. Okay. And I started donating to different churches and networks that I was watching. And then I got phone calls that said, hey, come out and do some cooking for us. You're a Vegas chef, come out and do some cooking. So I paid for some tickets and went out and did cooking things. And then all of a sudden I started getting phone calls. This guy in Florida calls me up and he says, hey, can you come out and do a cooking program for us? I was like, where are you? He says, I'm in Florida. And I was just kind of silent. I just kind of, I can come out, So I did. I went and took a trip out to Florida and back and did a few events along the way.
Now, what kind of events are these? These are just
healthy,
like cooking
live cooking programs. Okay. Where I teach health and nutrition at the same time.
So here you are, you've lost some weight, you're feeling not just better spiritually, but physically. What sort of things were you doing that helped you to lose the weight and feel better about yourself?
Mostly diet.
Okay.
Mostly diet, yeah.
Just changing the things you were eating?
Yep, reducing the calories from fat and mostly diet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at exercising. I was in the kitchen, so you're kind of running around all the time.
Standing up.
So muscular-wise, I was pretty good shape.
Okay.
But it was mostly diet.
Now, are you getting your information from the Bible here in regards to diet? Like, what do you? I mean, are we talking like a keto diet? What are we talking about here?
All plant strong.
Okay.
Low fat. Reduce the sugars. That type of diet. Yeah.
Okay. So you're making these changes, and all of a sudden you start getting these calls.
People are calling me, saying, "Hey, I heard you on the Hope Channel. I want you to come out to my cooking program." Okay. And I was like, come out, and do a cooking program. I was like, okay, we can do that.
Now, when you were doing your these cooking classes, did it ever dawn on you, like not too long ago, you were, wheeling and dealing at the casinos, and and now here you are, you're doing cooking schools for people interested in healthy cooking. Did you ever imagine that?
No. And it's really refreshing. I'd never go back to what I was doing before.
Right.
I mean, we've been doing cooking programs. We're talking, 15 years ago. And I think I've done over 2,500 cooking programs, every single state in the country. We've been on a number of different networks regularly. So we're.
Chef, where'd you learn to cook?
Well, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and all my brothers and sisters are 300 to 400 pounds. And but I was on the kitchen table with my mom, being the youngest of 6 kids. Okay. And this is up in South Dakota. I started cooking in the restaurants. I think I was 12 years old when I started bussing tables. Okay. And up at Mount Rushmore, South Dakota, they've only got 300 people in the town, but they're getting 30,000 people a day coming through the town. So they were looking for any help they could get. Okay. And so I started cooking at that young age and been cooking ever since.
Now, before, things changed for you and, you became a Bible-believing Christian, what kind of things were you generally cooking? What was your bread and butter, proverbial bread and butter, and the things that you loved to make for people? What were you known for?
Well, the casino mostly had high-end bar food. Wings, chicken fingers, burgers, steaks, shrimp, just your basic bar food. But I would say mostly I was known in Vegas for doing live cooking, where somebody would have a wedding and we would actually have live exhibition cooking right in front of them. So here's a event for 200-300 people and we're cooking live. And nobody in Vegas had really done that at the time. It was just that kind of new thing. And that's what really set me apart from all the other caterers, that the high-end caterers are like, hey, I want to get this guy. And I would have such beautiful layouts, watermelon sculptures. I do so many ice sculptures, different things. And people just, they're like, wow. And so it was more about the presentation than the actual food itself.
Now, you listed off you were doing burgers and shrimp and all sorts of things, and then you started to do healthy cooking. What kind of things are you cooking now? Were you cooking in the very beginning of this healthy cooking journey?
It was pretty easy for me to go plant strong. Okay. It really was. Plus, I had hundreds and hundreds of recipes. Most of them I just had to tweak them a little bit to get them to be on a vegan, healthier dimension. So it took a little while, to get it designed. But when you know flavor, you can flavor anything and make it taste good. And mostly guys, we don't care what we eat as long as there's plenty of it and it tastes good, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
right.
That's kind of what he did.
Now, you're talking about, going plant-based, plant-strong is the term you use. And I got to understand this a little bit more, though. Why did you head in that direction specifically? You said it's the healthiest, but was there other reasons behind that? It's you went from cooking all these things to all of a sudden now just cooking plants.
Yeah.
How did you go in that direction?
Well, my sister died at the age of 54 from cancer. My mom died at 70 from cancer. My brother, had a cholesterol level of 1,000, had a heart attack. He weighed 400 pounds. And I could just see myself going in the same direction. And God was just impressing upon me, saying, and the nice part about the Adventist Church is there is a health message that I truly believe was given by God. And because, God knows we're going to be in this sinful, horrible world, and he just wants us to be as healthy as possible while we're going to temporarily be here. And so, and everything that I've read through like Counsels in Diets and Foods and different books, and I've studied with different doctors and things, and it all came down to the same facts, that if you eat that plant-strong, low-fat, low-sugar diet, the people live the longest, they have the least amount of disease and sickness. And I said, I know that's what God wants for me, so, and I was blessed in a way that he inspired me to want to share with other people what he had actually done for me, so it's kind of in return, what he has done for me, I want to share and do for others.
Now, you also put this cooking book together, Simple, Incredible Meats. Now, was this, pre-conversion or post-conversion? I got to know.
That's my newest book. I've got 4 cookbooks out, and that's my newest one. We actually did that during COVID when everybody had their stay-at-home orders and they were all playing video games. I'm going to go to work. And so we created that cookbook. And the nice part about that one, every single recipe has a QR code where you can actually watch a video exactly how the recipe's done. And that's something that I've never seen another book do. And I just said, we've got the technology, let's go ahead and do it. So they've all got QR codes so you can watch a video.
By the way, I heard that you got every one of our audience members one of these cookbooks.
Yes.
I realized as I was saying this, I was like, wait, am I really sure of this fact as I'm saying this? Otherwise,
I'll tell you later.
We're going to be owing everyone a lot of cookbooks. So, very good. I'm excited and I'm very hungry all of a sudden. So, We've been talking with celebrity chef and former casino owner Mark Anthony, whose life changed when he discovered that what he was eating him. Coming up next, we'll get to learn some secrets of his current kitchen and maybe even sample some. Stick with us, you won't want to miss this. Welcome back to Hope at Night. I'm excited because I'm here with Chef Mark Anthony, who is going to teach me how to make food that will taste awesome while making me feel better and hopefully live longer. Mark,
Amen.
Take it away.
Amen. Well, today we want to really share with you some of the secrets that the wellness centers do. If you don't know what a wellness center is, that's where people go to get healthy. And there's lots of different wellness centers. I was actually the president over at Black Hills Health and Education Center, which is one of the healthy wellness centers in the country. So I was there for a couple of years, and I just wanted to share with the people the secrets that they do to help people get healthy.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. And we're going to do some cooking here, though. And the first thing I want to do is get you working on some onions here.
Okay.
So I've got to get you to slice up that onion. Do you know how to use a knife?
I think so.
I'll just stand over here. You go right ahead.
All right.
We're going to do some just julienne slices.
Okay.
Julienne.
Okay.
So.
Can you show me what a julienne slice is? So I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So.
All right. So the easy way to do this is just cut off both ends like that, and then cut it down the middle, and then you can pull off the outside of your onion. So that gives you a really good starting point. And then all you have to do is slice it this way.
Oh, wow, okay.
Now, normally when I get right about here, it's going to be unstable here unless you just flip that over. Then you're going slice like that. And then these are going to go right into the pan. And we're going to see if we can get those babies cooking up. You can do this one too, though.
Okay, great, fantastic.
And then we have a medic on site too if we need it. Is everyone on site? Right here, we're going to make some breakfast sausage. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day still. And a lot of people do the fasting or the, what do they call it nowadays?
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. And where they want you to take a little longer span, try to keep your meals, within a 6-7 hour time period. So, but you still want to have that best meal for breakfast. And the sausage that I'm doing here is pretty amazing. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I've got a couple cups of water here. Now, I did leave all of you a recipe too, so you all have a recipe in your package that you can take home with you. But we've got the water right here. We've got about 8 cups of water. We're going to hold the oats aside for just a minute, and we'll add the rest of the ingredients here. I've got some walnuts, chopped walnuts. All you got to do is just chop up some walnuts. This right here is liquid aminos.
What is liquid aminos?
Well, it's just aminos that are really good for the body.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like soy sauce.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't have the wheat in it. Because there's a lot of people out there that are becoming gluten intolerant. And so if you're gluten intolerant, you want to use the liquid aminos or tamarind or something like that that doesn't have the wheat in it. And so we put a cup of that in there. I do have some garlic and onion. One of the best ratios that you can have for garlic and onion is 1 part garlic, 2 parts onion. Just think of that ratio. 1 part garlic, 2 parts onion works really good in a lot of your soups and sauces.
Okay, fantastic.
I do have some chicken style seasoning here. And so and there's different brands out there of the chicken style seasoning.
Now, Mark, I got to ask you, can you get this stuff at any grocery store?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, these are relatively easy to get. And of course, everything's vegan here, plant strong. Here's the secret ingredients that really get you flavor. We've got the rosemary, so we've got a tablespoon of rosemary and fennel seeds. A lot of people miss the fennel seeds, and that's one of those secret ingredients that really helps sausage taste great. And then we've got some sage. Now for heat, we're going to do these red pepper flakes. I'm sure some of you have had red pepper flakes. Now, if you get them from the grocery store, they're going to be really hot. And if they've been sitting in your cupboard for 20 years, they're not as shiny, they're not as oily looking, then they're going to lose a lot of their potency. But red pepper flakes, and I do have some liquid smoke and a little bit of salt. And I'm using the pink Himalayan salt. So we're going to give this a stir and just let this simmer. Bring it to a boil, just let it simmer for about 5 minutes here. And then we can come back to it. So I think I'll put that on there. Looks like it's going to boil pretty good though.
Excellent.
Now, what you're doing over here is a water saute. For vegetables, you don't have to have oil. One of the secrets to the wellness centers is they try to go as much oil-free as possible. You want to reverse diabetes? You eliminate the fats and oils. Every wellness center in the country can reverse diabetes within about 3 weeks, get you completely off your meds. How do they do it? They get rid of the fats and oils. Because then your cells in your pancreas and all, you have these valves, little receptors, and they go open, close, open, close. And if you get rid of the fats and oils, they're doing the job it's supposed to be doing. But when you coat your cells with all this fat and oil, you can't get the job done, and now you need the insulin. So that's the way they reverse diabetes.
And there's so many kinds of oils out there that are available. Canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, just everything is out there.
Yeah, and if you're a diabetic, you need to get rid of all of them completely, including olive oil and coconut oil, for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Then you're going to come back and reintroduce some of those healthy fats, because we do need some healthy fats. But you don't want to, in order to reverse the diabetes, you need to do a little drastic change there.
And we're talking about type 2 diabetes here.
This thing doesn't seem to max out very heavy, does it?
Am I ruining things already?
Yeah, it's we need a little more juice on that thing. So the secret to doing this is once it gets to a point where the water is evaporated, then you're going to add a little more water to it. And then you're going to let that evaporate. And then you're going to add a little more water to it and let that evaporate. So it does take a little bit of time to get that all evaporating. So another thing that the wellness centers do, first thing in the morning, they're going to have lemon water.
Lemon water?
Yeah, every single wellness center does this. A whole lemon, put it in a quart or a pint jar of water and drink that first thing in the morning. It'll give you an alkaline body instead of an acidic body. And it really helps get your entire digestive system working in the mornings. So that's the first thing we do. Now the one thing that I like to do, that's got to get some heat in there. The one thing I like to do when people come to a wellness center, the first thing I would do is take them on an adventure. Let's go have some fun. Because most people are coming from a toxic environment, they're stressed out, and it jacks up your cortisol levels. And our specialty was weight loss. And if you're stressed out about losing weight, you're not going to lose weight because your cortisol levels are just gripping onto those fat cells. And they found studies out there that show just by going to a museum and seeing other people's creations will actually drop your cortisol levels by 67%.
That's incredible.
Immediately. So I'm always saying, hey, let's go out and see some of God's creations.
Right.
You know, and get people to relax. Most wellness centers that I've been to, most of them, I've been to most every one in the country, spent a lot of time with the doctors. They all have some common characteristic, and there's two principles that are critical. There's two principles that everybody needs to take with you. And number one is don't compare yourself to others. You know, comparison is the thief of joy. And if you're comparing yourself to others, you're never going to feel good about the gift that God has given you. And that's one problem with social networks. You're always comparing yourself to others. And how many likes do I have? And how many friends do I have? And
trying to outdo everyone.
And if you can just realize that God loves you just the way you are, now you can breathe, and it just takes that load off of your shoulders. And then the second principle is to do the best you can with where you're at today. Everybody's in a different place, in a different position. Some of us have physical impairments. Some of us are getting older. We don't have the mobility. But just do the best you can today. And that will really make a difference. And if if it doesn't matter if shopping's your problem, finance is your problem, don't be on Amazon all day shopping. And at the end of the day, you can look back and you're either going to say, I didn't do very good today, but I got a new day tomorrow. Or else you're going to say, all right, thank you, Lord. You got me through a good day today. And now tomorrow's a new day. and you're going to sleep better at night, and it's just a win-win. Do the best you can with where you're at today, and step by step, day by day, you'll get there.
Isn't that incredible? You're not only getting good food, but you're hearing a good message as well, right?
Yeah. See, this has been simmering for a little while, and now I'm going to put the oats in here. This right here is quick steel-cut oats. And the quick steel-cut oats you can get at different grocery stores. It's readily available. And we just pour that in there. And then this right here, it's you can use regular oats or quick oats.
Okay.
But can you see how it's still got some texture to it?
That's right, yep.
I didn't turn it into flour.
Okay.
Because if you turn it into flour, then it can be a real problem. And then we're just going to kind of put this in a little bit at a time. If you put it in all at once, then it doesn't quite, it's very difficult to mix.
Now, what you have in there is going to turn into veggie meat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Okay. Well, you definitely got a slow cooker over there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get this all stirred in. But that's what the wellness centers do. Another secret that the wellness centers do is they try to get people to eat more carbs, a lot more carbs.
That's really different from the message we're getting out into the world. So get rid of the carbs.
I know, but there's so many books out there. Dr. McDougall, The Starch Solution, I think you've read that book.
Right, yep.
Or you had it on your table at least.
No, I have read that book.
Okay.
Yeah.
70% of your diet needs to be in carbs and starches. Then you've got, there's another book, The Low Carb Myth, Dr. Harry Witten and Wade Smith, New York Times bestseller with 490 scientific sources showing why you need to eat more carbs. But you got to know the difference between complex carbs and simple carbs, okay? Eat the potato, not the potato chip.
Yeah, it seems a lot of individuals that are bashing a carb-based diet, a diet that's full of carbs, are bashing actually the unhealthy carbs and not realizing you need the healthy carbs.
Right.
But most of what people eat is the unhealthy carbs. That's what's readily available.
Yeah, and I'll show you how ridiculous it is to tell people to stay away from carbs. If you're going to stay away from carbs, the only possible food you could ever eat is meat. What a great marketing campaign. Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
Or oil. You could eat oil.
Right.
But that's it.
Right.
Because everything has carbs in it. Kale has 4 grams of carbs. Your lettuce, your greens, every single food out there has carbs. And we need those healthy carbs. That is the best fuel for the body. It burns cleaner. It's like if you burn oil for fuel, it's carcinogenic. Or if you burn sugar for fuel, it's not a clean burning fuel for the body. So, yeah.
Chef, could you give us some examples of more of these healthy carbs we should be eating and examples of unhealthy carbs we should be avoiding that most people fall into the trap of, eating and consuming?
I call it the fabulous 5. Beans, rice, oats, potatoes, and whole grains. That's your fabulous 5. Those are the ones you should be sticking to the most. And then you've got your vegetables and all your healthy foods like that. The things you want to stay away from is mostly your processed foods, that your potato chips, the fat in those potato chips. I had a bag of potato chips that I use on display, and I have it in my containers where I go event to event. And after about a year, it started dripping grease out of the bottom of it. It was horrible, and I had to replace it. But they're loaded with fat, and the carbs burn faster. See, what happens is when you're burning carbs for fuel, if you're eating those processed foods, they burn faster, and then you crash, and then you spike, and then you crash. And we want foods that are going to give you a longer shelf life. That's what we need, is that longer shelf life. So if you get the foods that are whole, natural foods, they're going to go longer fuel throughout the body.
The irony of this, by the way, is that the healthy carbs are things that expire quickly, and the unhealthy things are the ones that, you keep them on your cupboard and they'll be lasting 2 years and not look any different.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if we're winning with these onions right now.
I don't know. That looks pretty difficult over there. What I'd like to do here is we're going to start scooping these babies up.
All right.
And all you have to do is take a scooper, and we're going to scoop these right onto a sheet pan. And sometimes I use a parchment paper on these, but really don't need to. Parchment paper works better, though. And we're just going to scoop all these right on here. Oh, you want to know the secret of the wellness centers?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of retrogradation?
No.
I did a class a couple years ago for 100 doctors. They were having a vegan, plant-strong conference that was being held at the McDonald's headquarters in Chicago. Yes. And so I got to do a class on retrogradation for all these doctors. Retrogradation is the process of making food starch resistant. So if you got the food that's more starch resistant, that means it takes much longer to digest. And if it takes longer to digest, that means that you're going to have more fuel throughout the day. So for weight loss, you're going to eat less. For diabetics, you're not getting the spike and crash. So even potatoes, and the way you get retrogradation, take a potato. You know how a potato is nice and soft and fluffy if you bake it or boil it, but if you put it in the refrigerator, it tightens up. That's retrogradation, and then you have starch-resistant food. So you can take all your healthy carbs, and if you just refrigerate them and reheat them, they're actually way healthier than if you just eat them all together like that. So yeah.
By the way, if you don't know this, some of these wellness centers and retreats you go to, they cost anywhere from 6, 7, all the way up to 20 grand. And Chef Mark Anthony is giving us the secrets behind what they're doing. So this is exciting stuff.
Yeah. All right. Here's the secret. Got some water here with a spatula, and all you have to do is pat these babies down into sausage patties.
At first, they were looking like cookies.
Yeah. You can make these any size you want. I actually make really big ones for burgers, which is what we've got over here as well. And so we're just going to go like that. And then these are going to go in the oven. You'll put them in the oven about 350 degrees for about a half hour, and then they're ready to go. So that easy for you. I've got some that I actually made here, and got a little water in it. I'm going to crank my heater on here. That should heat up pretty quick. And I've got some bigger sausage patties that I made into burgers like that. See how that works?
Yeah, that looks delicious.
So we'll just get those heated up real quick here in a minute.
And this smells really good. It smells like good
Sausage.
Food, you know?
Aromatherapy, right? Aromatherapy, that's what it's all about. Yeah, if we can get aromatherapy going, that's great. Okay, you want to have some fun time? What I need you to do is just go like this and cut a few pieces off of here.
Okay.
And see if you can get me a smooth one.
All right.
We'll see if you can get me a smooth one there. Oh, I got some fruit here. I'm going to play with that. We're going to create. We're going to have a fun time here. You're going to go down about 4 slices to get
Got it.
where you need to be.
Okay.
Yeah, just like that.
Now, I'm sure you've had many amazing assistants help you in the kitchen, but am I one of the top?
Yes, you've been doing fabulous. Okay, let me try one more.
Okay.
You see how these are coming out?
Yeah.
Like ribbons.
Okay.
You like that one?
Yes.
You like that one?
Very good.
Okay. So here's the trick. If you cut it, what you do is you're going to make a ring, okay? But sometimes it doesn't hold together. So you can always cut part of this here, and then part of this on the top side here. So you're kind of making a little piece to cut in with. See how that works?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can put that on the plate like a ring, so it all holds together. And then if you can put that fruit in there, we'll see if we can get that fruit to all fit in there for you. And I got these burgers looking good here.
Very good.
Now, doesn't that, it actually just kind of, it's just a nice work of art, isn't it?
You said presentation. That's
They
what this
see
is,
this,
right?
Right. That's the thing. They see the artwork. And then if you can do some lettuce, tomato, and onion and pickle as part of it.
Okay.
I've got the bottom bun here, which, by the way, I water sauteed.
Really?
Yes, you put it in a pan of water just a little bit of water, and it'll look like it's actually been done in oil. Yeah, it's great. You can do it with water and then still get that browning on there. Yeah, lettuce, tomato, onion, just like that.
Chef, do you think I could, with my skills here, do you think I could get a job at McDonald's?
I think you're a couple steps up from that. I think we might be able to go Denny's. We might be able to go Denny's, yes. Okay. So yeah, you can create it any way you want. And we're gonna, you can have your burger with melted cheese and then put the onions on top of that. Some of those grilled onions on top of that.
All right.
Yep, just load that up.
All right.
Well, not too much. I gotta take some of these off.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, we're using our fingers today. That's what God created them for. But so you can really get fancy, and then we put the lid on, where people, you know, it comes to their table and they're like, wow, look at that. And the cucumber, you can put potato salad in there or something like that. These sausage patties, you know, we put them in the oven at 350 degrees for a half hour. After they come out of the oven, what you want to do is freeze them. You can freeze them, which would help that retrogradation. And then you either pan fry them, or you can microwave them if you want, but we usually just pan fry them. And lots of varieties. You can put sausage, what's the sweet stuff? Like maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
You can have a maple flavored sausage. You could add oil to it if you want that greasiness, but use a good olive oil or something like that. None of the, yeah.
Now, Chef, I went to a vegan restaurant not too long ago, and I remember getting a burger that looked somewhat similar like that. And do you remember do you know how much it cost me?
Usually $10 to $14.
$23.99.
23? Oh, I need to open up a restaurant.
Yeah. Come to California. That's, you know, they'll gouge you. So.
Yeah, I need to open up a restaurant for sure. You want to try some of this?
Yes, that sounds good.
Here's that sausage right
All
there.
right.
I wonder if we have any studio members that would want to try it.
All right, let's test you. How many people here would like to try it? Let's pick 1 or 2 people. Okay, who likes sausage, by the way?
Who's a meat eater?
Who's a meat eater? Okay. How about we get you? All right. And then
One more.
one more. Let's get a female. How about we get you? Come up to the front.
Oh, man.
And you got a piece too?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. You are all going to eat this at the same time, okay? So you can come over here and just take a fork and take a sausage, yes?
Okay.
Yep, go for it.
All right, before you eat it, though, I want to make sure this is on the camera. Do you want to grab one, too, as well?
If they don't like it, I'm in trouble.
All right, why don't you come over here for a second? Want to make sure what this tastes like? All right, I'm going to grab one, too. Chef, do you want to grab one
You're
as
going to
well?
get the real sausage flavor is what
All right,
you're going to
here we
get.
go.
Might not be totally hot yet.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 3. What do you think?
It tastes very fresh.
I think you got me.
It tastes all the flavors. Very delicious.
It's the real thing.
Healthy
Yeah.
food does taste good, right?
Healthier, saves you money. Yep.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm going to keep eating this.
All right. I'll get these cooked up. We've got some samples in between breaks that we can give for the whole audience if you like.
Fantastic. And just a reminder, everyone in our audience today will get a free copy of Mark's new cookbook, Simply Incredible Vegan Meats. For those watching online, you can grab it at chefmarkanthony.com. Before we go to our next segment, I want to invite you to visit our website also at hopetv.org/hopeatnight, where you can view previous episodes and also download this season's free gift. And it's not veggie meat, by the way, but be sure to check it out. When we return, we're handing the mic to our studio audience for their questions, so don't go away. Welcome back to Hope at Night. We've had a powerful story and a powerful pan of plant-based sausage. In fact, during the break, our studio audience got to experience a sample of that plant-based sausage. It's clear that Chef Mark Anthony has faith in his new cooking style, but now it's our audience turn to join the conversation. Now, I gotta ask, did you enjoy that sample? All right, let's go to our first question. Who has our first question? Right over there.
What nutritional advice would you give someone who's just beginning their wellness journey?
Oh, I would say keep taking steps. You don't have to do everything all at once, but you want to be consistent. You want to be persistent. We found out in the wellness centers that if you try to take everybody up to level 10 and do everything all at once, a lot of people will reject it. And if you can just do one baby step at a time and find success, and then, okay, I've accepted that, I'm going to quit eating cheese, which actually was pretty easy for me. But, just take one step at a time, and because you'll feel a sense of accomplishment. And then you're willing to take another step and another step. And it seems like people have more success doing that.
Right, it's not overwhelming, and each victory seems to open the door for another victory in regards to diet. Really practical. Any other questions?
Was it easy for you to give up meat, and do you ever miss it?
Oh, giving up meat? Not really. I mean, I'm a culinary person, so I can make things taste better. Now, I did go with quite a few meat substitutes when I first started getting healthy, which can be an option for you. Some of those meat substitutes that you get, the burgers and things like that, they're healthier than the real meats, but sometimes they're still high in fat and processed. So you'll gradually end up getting more and more healthier whole foods and plant-based foods. And that's kind of what you have to do if you're going to just, there's transitions you can do. And if you mess up, don't worry about it. God still loves you. Just, you got a new day tomorrow all right, let's do it again. And I don't miss being 70 pounds overweight. Okay, I just don't miss it.
Right, and you really demonstrated during the cooking demo that you can make this delicious plant-based patty in about like 15 minutes, and it tasted delicious.
And you can freeze them in bulk and pull them out as you need them. And
seems like you save lots of money too.
Saves the time and money,
right.
Yes.
Can't beat that. Any other questions? Right over there.
Is a vegetarian or a vegan diet healthy for someone who's always physically active?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are so many bodybuilders out there and athletes that are vegan. I mean, they're everywhere. You're never going to have a problem not getting enough protein. And, and too much of the animal protein can be a real problem for you. But, yeah, you might eat a little more fuel. I mean, I still have my big meal for breakfast. And, if I know I'm going to be working out. And I do hit the health club regularly. So I'm at the health club quite often. And but I've never had a problem transitioning and having physical withdrawals or anything like that. So I'm not sure if that.
Yeah, in fact, on previous episodes, we've had vegan bodybuilders who share just that, they work out all the time, but the plant-based food gives them all the energy and the protein that they need. It's really incredible.
It is a better fuel. So.
Right. I mean, think about elephants. I mean, elephants are huge and big, and they just eat, what is it, grass or plants all day? So it's really interesting that some of these strong land animals, I mean, they're plant-based.
Well, one of the things is that when you go plant-based, now you have more oxygen in the blood and more oxygen in the cells. And that's what you need, especially if you're working out. You want oxygen in your cells when you're working out. And so the people, and minerals, you definitely want some minerals too. But if you have more oxygen in the blood, that's your filtering system. That's what filters out all these harmful particles and gets your body working the way it's supposed to be working. So, but when you coat your cells with that animal fat, then it's not getting the right amount of oxygen it needs. It's not going to be at its full potential. So,
oh, fascinating. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was wondering, what do you think about carnivore diet?
Carnivore. Is that like paleo and caveman
similar.
diet? And
Yeah, my understanding of the carnivore diet is it's primarily, meats, and it's trying to switch the fuel source of the body from carb-based.
Tricking you to burning fat
Right.
for fuel.
Right. And so there's a claim a lot of people are, dropping weight and losing inflammation, et cetera. So it definitely is a fad diet that's current right now. But yeah, it's similar, a little bit, I think somewhat similar to the keto or paleo diet.
Yeah. You can lose weight doing that because you are tricking your body into burning fat for fuel. But the problem is it comes at a price. And mostly the problem that you're going to have is kidney damage and kidney stones. Animal protein causes kidney stones. And ever since the whole animal craze, got to get more meat, got to get more protein, kidney stones have skyrocketed. And nowadays in society, you cannot build dialysis centers fast enough. And it's largely due to the animal protein. And the people that aren't consuming all those animal products have the least amount of kidney problems and, dialysis. So it's the only thing I can say about it.
Right. And I just
comes
imagine,
at a price.
Right. I mean, they're not, in these diets, you're not obviously eating lots of fruits because of the carb nature, the carb composition of fruits, but you're avoiding these essential nutrients.
Micronutrients and everything. Yeah.
Interesting. Any other questions?
What's a home cooking hack that'll improve most people's eating experience?
Home cooking hack?
Yeah, I mean, is it a particular ingredient you throw in? Is it a particular cutlery, a utensil?
You have got to design your kitchen for success. Okay, that is critical. People come to the Wellness Center, we teach them what they need to do, and then they go back to the regular environment and they go right back to their bad habits. You've got to get your kitchen designed for success. And when your kitchen's designed for success, you're going to have success. Look, if everything in your kitchen is unhealthy or healthy, and you bring home a carrot, how long is it going to be in the fridge? I mean, it maybe turns to rubber, right? You'll put it in those drawers down below where good intentions go to die, right? Yeah, the little caskets that you open up, see if anything's alive in there. But yeah, so you got to have your kitchen designed for success. What I did was I've got a YouTube channel, and on that YouTube channel, I've got a dozen videos showing you exactly how to get your refrigerator set up, your cupboards, your freezers, everything. So that way you've got a good head start. That's the best hack I can think of, is get your kitchen designed for success so you're not tempted by unhealthy foods.
Now, when you think about most, kitchens in America today, is there one thing they need to absolutely get out of their kitchen right away?
I guess the processed foods and, the high calories from fat. We have the highest fat consumption of any country in the world here in America. But that's the biggest problem, is the calories from fat.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Chef Mark, this has been not just a good episode, but a delicious episode. And I mean that in every way. What a journey from fame and fortune to faith and service. From the casino lights of Las Vegas to the life-changing light of God's Word. It's not just about losing weight. It's about gaining life, clarity, conviction, and connection with God. If you're watching and feeling stuck, tired, or hopeless, you can start afresh just like Mark did, one choice at a time and one prayer at a time. Because ultimately, it's not just what you have on your plate, but if you've invited God to join you at your table. Because by doing so, you'll be sure to get a serving of hope even at night.